Well, Veterans Memorial High School here in Corpus Christi, it is a campus that has intentionally established a close connection to veterans, and they've actually just started a new program that will increase the number of veterans and other adults on campus.
The program is called SAFE. It will allow veterans, first responders, and active military to mentor students. Our Marissa Cummings has the details.
SAFE stands for Safety Alliance for Eagles. Assistant Principal Chris Hall says the idea is to solidify the service member presence that is already at the school.
Because we are Veterans Memorial High School, so we do have a few veterans that are already on campus.
And with this new program, they're expecting to have more. One of the veterans signed up to be a part of SAFE is Michael Bellapani. He says one reason he joined is because he could have benefited from a mentorship program like this when he was younger.
Maybe they'll take advantage of some of our experience and not have to hurt like we did when we were growing up.
The school is looking for a variety of mentors, from family to military members. Hall says through this mentorship, students will also be able to explore possible career fields.
I think this provides students an opportunity to really kind of maybe see what it was like for those who may have served and those who are out in the workforce.
And Bellapani, being a Navy vet, he says he has valuable military life insight that maybe some students could benefit from.
It's the best growing up period of my life was being in the military, and it's turned out to be a great benefit later in my life.
If you are interested in joining SAFE, their next meeting will be held September 25th at 6 p.m. Marissa Cummings, 3 News.